right, let's jump into another deep dive. And today we're looking at Hunter x Hunter.
Ooh, exciting.
But not just, the surface level stuff. We're going like philosophy deep.
Oh, wow.
Get ready to see Gon, Kahlua, Kurapika, the whole gang through the lens of some heavy hitters like
right.
Plato,
You're right.
Adam Smith,
Oh, wow.
Machiavelli,
Nice.
even Hobbes.
Yeah. This is going to be good. It's like we're going to uncover some sort of hidden code in the story.
Right.
These philosophers, from totally different times and places, they all thought about these big questions, right? Like power, society, what it means to be human.
Yeah.
And you know what? Those same ideas, I think they're playing out in Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
It adds this whole other layer of meaning to the anime.
It's like Togashi was just dropping philosophy bombs this whole time. We didn't even know.
Maybe.
So we're not just talking about the fights and the Nen battles, right?
Right.
We're going to see how Hunter x Hunter reflects some of those important ideas in, you could even say, Western thought.
Yeah, for sure.
You're telling me Togashi was low-key a philosophy nerd?
Huh, maybe. Let's just say his work is a lot richer than it looks at first glance.
I like that.
Let's start with something everyone knows, the Hunter exam.
Oh, yeah, one of the best parts.
So iconic. It's brutal.
Definitely.
It's intense. It weeds out the weak.
Yeah, survival of the fittest, Hunter style.
Exactly. But guess what? There's a deeper connection here.
Okay, lay it on me.
I want you to think about Plato's Republic.
Okay, Republic, all right.
He had this vision of a society, right, where people are carefully chosen and trained for specific roles.
Mm-hmm.
It's all based on their abilities and their talents.
Okay.
And what's the goal? To make a harmonious and well-functioning society. Doesn't that sound a lot like the Hunter exam? Finding the best of the best.
I see it. Hisoka, judging everyone.
Yes.
The different phases, testing specific skills. It's like Plato designed the whole thing.
Right.
But okay, the Hunter world, it's definitely more chaotic than Plato's perfect little republic, right?
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Hunters are totally free agents. They're not cogs in some machine.
Yeah.
But both systems emphasize the same thing.
What's that?
Excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And they both tell you you have to prove your worth. Not everyone's cut out for this life.
Right. Whether it's ruling a just city
Exactly.
or surviving in the Hunter world.
Yeah, I think Plato and Togashi are both saying some folks are meant to lead and others not so much.
Right. Like, deal with it.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious, how does this play out beyond the exam? Like in the Hunter world, this whole talent thing?
That's a great question. Well, I think it's all about Nen.
Nen. Okay.
Do you remember Nen has those 6 different categories, right?
Oh, yeah.
And every Nen user, they have a natural affinity for one of them.
Right.
Based on their personality. Well, this reminds me a lot of Adam Smith and the division of labor.
Wait. Economics.
Aha. Yes.
Okay. I need a refresher here. What's division of labor again?
So imagine a society where everybody tried to do everything themselves. Right.
Like growing their food, building their own house, making their clothes.
Yeah.
It would be pretty inefficient.
Probably.
Smith said that specializing is better.
Okay.
When people specialize in certain tasks, everyone becomes way more productive.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And that's how society benefits the whole society.
Okay, I'm with you.
So I think about Gon and his focus on enhancement and Kurapika mastering conjuration.
Yeah.
And then Kahlua with his transmutation.
Okay.
It's like they're all specializing in their own Nen trade.
Yeah.
It makes them stronger. Hunters.
So Kurapika's chains are like a specialized economic output.
Kind of.
That is so cool.
And think about how all these different Nen abilities, they work best when they're together in teams.
Right.
It creates interdependence, kind of
Yeah.
like in an economy.
Yeah. Oh,
But then you have teams that break the rules, right?
Oh, yeah, like the Phantom Troop.
Exactly.
They just steal abilities.
They totally throw a wrench in the system.
Mm-hmm.
They disrupt the natural order.
Yeah, they're getting these skills through theft, not through honest development.
So like the ultimate market disruptors.
Totally.
Okay, so speaking of folks who don't play by the rules,
Right.
let's talk about the big bad.
Oh, okay.
Chrollo Lucifer.
The leader.
Yeah, he is a master strategist.
Oh, yeah.
He's cold, calculating, and kind of scary.
I think he's a perfect example of Machiavelli and the Prince.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Machiavelli argued that a ruler, sometimes they ought to use some pretty ruthless tactics,
Like what?
Deception, even cruelty, all to keep power and reach their goals.
So Chrollo's a textbook Machiavellian.
Basically, Sacrificing his own team members.
Yeah.
Manipulating everybody else, always 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Right out of the prince.
Machiavelli would be proud.
He might be. But he also believed that being ruthless, it's not a long-term strategy.
So maybe Chrollo's approach won't work forever.
Maybe.
His Machiavellian ways could be his downfall.
It's possible.
It makes you wonder, though, if Gon and Killua could even handle a real-life Machiavellian prince.
Yeah.
Good thing they're just, fictional.
Exactly.
But speaking of intense situations, what about Greed Island?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That place was crazy.
It really was. Great Island with all the high stakes, the constant threat of death.
Yeah.
Every player for themselves. It's like Thomas Hobbes' A State of Nature brought to life.
The state of nature, what's that?
So Hobbes, he believed that without laws and government, human life would be a mess.
Okay.
Total chaos, a brutal struggle to survive. He called it the state of nature. And it's like a constant war of all against all.
Sounds like Greed Island.
Doesn't it?
Deadly challenges, betrayals,
Yeah.
everyone just focused on saving themselves.
Exactly.
It all fits.
It really does.
But, there's also cooperation on Greed Island.
That's true.
Like Gon and Killua, they found friendship there.
That's a good point.
So it's not a perfect match with Hobbes.
You're right. It's not one paid
Oh.
Hobbes' state of nature. That's like a worst case scenario.
Gotcha.
But Greed Island, they don't have many rules there, right?
Yeah.
And they emphasize individual power.
Yeah.
It shows you what could happen when people are left alone. Even if it's just in a game.
So Greed Island is like a philosophical experiment gone wrong.
Maybe.
It's like Togashi was playing 4D chess with this story.
Oh.
And speaking of, messed up power dynamics, I can't believe we're going here, but Aristotle and slavery.
It's a tough one, I know.
This seems pretty intense, even for a deep dive.
I know, but it's important. Aristotle's views on slavery, they're definitely not okay today, right?
Not at all.
He thought some people were naturally meant to be ruled. Like they couldn't govern themselves.
Wow.
And this idea, it kind of shows up in the Chimera ant arc.
Oh, yeah, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
The Chimera ants, they see humans as just food.
Right.
They think they're superior.
Yeah, like they're destined to rule.
It is a dark reflection of what Aristotle was saying.
It really is, but here's the thing.
Right.
The Chimera ant arc, it doesn't just say this is right.
Yeah.
It challenges that hierarchy, with Mirum.
Yeah.
His transformation and the possibility of humans and ants living together.
So it's like Togashi is giving us another side to consider.
Exactly. Even Aristotle might have missed something here.
So there's hope for humanity.
There might be.
Even against superpowered ants.
Exactly. And this is what's so great about Hunter x Hunter. It's not just a simple power fantasy. It makes you think about these complicated ideas.
Right. Even if there are no easy answers.
Yeah.
Man, okay. My head's spinning. We've gone from Plato's perfect society to Hobbes' nightmare to Aristotle and slavery.
It's a lot, I know.
I need a minute to process all this.
I get it. Haha.
This is intense.
It is.
Okay.
We're just getting started, though.
Oh, no?
Haha. More.
Yeah.
More. There's so much more.
Okay, hit me with it. I'm ready.
Let's keep going.
All right. I'm seeing Hunter x Hunter in a whole new light.
Good. That's what we want. Take a deep breath. We're just getting warmed up. Hunter. It's like a gold mine of philosophical ideas.
Okay, bring on the wisdom. I'm ready. I'm seeing the show in a whole new light now.
All right, let's talk about someone who's basically Mr. Democracy himself, Alexis de Tocqueville.
De Tocqueville, okay.
Yeah.
He wrote about America, right? I'm not sure I see the connection to Hunter x Hunter.
Well, he did analyze American democracy, that's true.
Right.
But his ideas about power
Okay.
and equality
Yeah.
and the downsides of democracy, those are relevant everywhere, even in the Hunter world.
Okay, you've got me hooked. Give me an example.
One of de Tocqueville's biggest concerns was centralization.
Centralization, what do you mean?
Like when too much power ends up in the hands of the state.
Okay.
That made him worried.
I see. But how does this apply to Hunter x Hunter?
Think about the Hunter Association.
Yeah.
It's this massive organization, right?
Yeah.
Global reach, tons of power.
Sure.
It shapes the lives of every hunter out there.
Yeah, the Hunter exam, the different branches, the whole code of conduct.
Exactly.
It's a pretty tight system.
It is. And while the Hunter Association is mostly a force for good,
Right.
there's always that risk.
Of what?
Corruption, abuse of power. That's what happens with centralized structures.
It's like what we were saying about Plato, right?
Yes.
Structure is good, but too much can lead to problems.
Exactly.
Makes me think of Netero, the old chairman.
Oh, yeah.
He was so powerful.
He was.
And not everyone agreed with him.
That's a great point. Netero's leadership.
Yeah.
It raises some questions.
Like what?
About the limits of authority, you know?
Okay.
Even if a leader has good intentions, their choices can have bad consequences.
So even in the hunter world, with all the nen and crazy creatures, power is still a problem.
Absolutely. Now, let's switch gears completely.
Oh, where are we going now?
Let's talk about Thomas Aquinas.
Aquinas. Wait, he was all about God and natural law, wasn't he? I don't see how that fits in here.
Well, you're right. Aquinas was a theologian. He believed in God.
Yeah.
And natural law.
Yeah.
The idea that there are these universal morals that guide us.
Interesting, but the hunter world is brutal. It's morally ambiguous.
That's true.
People break the rules all the time.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There are still principles at work.
Really?
Guiding a lot of the characters.
You're making me think of Gon.
Yes.
He has a strong sense of what's right and wrong.
Absolutely.
Even in tough situations.
Yeah. Gon, he might be naive.
Right.
But he operates on this natural law morality. He just gets at fairness, loyalty, protecting the innocent. Like, he has this built-in moral compass.
And he'll challenge anyone if he thinks it's the right thing to do.
Exactly. It shows that even in a messed up world, those basic moral principles matter.
The ones Aquinas talked about.
Yes. Natural law still has power.
Wow. So we've got Plato, Hobbes, and now Aquinas.
They're all connected.
It's amazing how they were all thinking about these same questions.
Right. Good and evil. Right and wrong.
It makes you think about your own moral code.
It really does. These questions are still important, even in a fantasy world.
Okay, so what about Aristotle? I thought we covered him.
We talked about his ideas on slavery.
Right. That was heavy.
It was, but Aristotle wrote about so much more.
Oh,
He was all over the place.
Like what?
Ethics.
Okay.
And one of his big ideas, I think it's reflected in Hunter X.
What is it?
Virtue.
Virtue, like being a good person.
It's more than that. Aristotle said it's about developing excellent character traits through practice and habit.
Okay.
It's like working out a muscle.
I see.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Are you talking about how hunters train?
Exactly. All the challenges they face, the moral dilemmas, it all shapes their character.
It's not just about being skilled hunters, it's about being good people, too.
Yeah. Aristotle believed we're not born virtuous, we become virtuous.
I never thought about it that way.
Through our actions, our experiences.
Like their journey is about becoming better people.
Well, that's it. And think about Chrollo.
Okay.
He's come such a long way.
He has, from being an assassin.
Yeah. He's learned to be a loyal friend, a protector.
It's amazing how much he's changed.
That's Aristotle's idea of moral development.
Wow.
Chrollo is choosing to be better, to embrace virtue.
He rejected everything he was taught.
Exactly.
And found his own way.
And it shows that virtue isn't fixed. It can change as we grow.
That's actually really encouraging.
It is. It makes you think about your own potential.
It does. Okay, who's next on our philosopher list?
All right, let's go to Karl Marx.
Marx. He was all about economics and criticizing capitalism.
That's right.
How does that work in a world with nen and magical beasts?
Even though the hunter world isn't a typical capitalist society,
Okay.
there are still systems of power in exchange that can cause problems.
The kind of problems Marx was talking about.
Exactly. One of Marx's big ideas was alienation.
Alienation. I'm not sure I follow.
So he said that workers in a capitalist system, they can feel separated from their work for the things they create, even from themselves.
I'm not sure I see the connection to Hunter x Hunter.
Think about nen abilities.
Okay.
You can buy them, sell them, even steal them.
Right.
So they become like commodities.
Yeah, I see that.
And that process, turning something like nen, which is so personal and powerful, into a commodity, that's where the alienation comes in.
You lose a part of yourself.
Exactly. It reminds me of the Phantom Troupe.
Oh, yeah. They steal nen abilities all the time.
They're the perfect example of this exploitative system.
Where it's all about getting more power, more profit.
Yeah, it makes you think about the real world, doesn't it?
It does. It's crazy how these real-world issues show up in Hunter x Hunter.
It is. It shows Togashi's brilliance.
Right.
He's weaving in all these complex ideas.
Okay, I'm ready for more. Who's next?
Let's keep going. We've got more philosophers to explore.
All right. This philosophical tour of Hunter x Hunter is blowing my mind.
It's wild, right? We've gone from ancient Greece to modern economics, and it's like all these ideas, even the ones that are super old, they still fit with Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. It's like Togashi snuck a whole philosophy class into this anime and we had no clue.
Right. But we're not done yet. There are still more thinkers to explore.
What does he at me?
All right, let's talk about Jean-Jacques Rousseau. He was all about the individual and society.
Rousseau. Didn't he come up with the social contract idea?
That's him. Rousseau believed that naturally humans are free and equal.
Okay.
But to live together, peacefully and have a functioning society, we have to give up a little bit of that freedom.
So it's like a trade-off.
Exactly.
You give up some freedom for the benefits of living in a community.
You got it. Like right now, we're all on this giant social contract.
No refunds, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And this idea is so important for understanding the Hunter Association.
The Hunter Association is a social contract.
Think about it. They set the rules.
Right.
They enforce the laws.
Yeah.
They make the whole framework for hunters to operate.
Okay.
And hunters agree to follow their code.
Yeah.
Even if it means they can't do whatever they want.
It's like they're all agreeing to play by the same rules.
Right.
Even if sometimes those rules are annoying.
Exactly. But it's better than living in chaos.
Right. Like in that Hobbesian state of nature.
Exactly. The social contract, it creates order, stability, even if we lose a little freedom.
Man, the hunter world is way more complicated than I thought.
It's like a mirror of our own society, but with, extra nen and giant ants.
Yeah. Okay, so is there another philosopher we can connect to this?
You know what? Let's bring Machiavelli back.
Machiavelli again. I thought we covered him.
We did with Chrollo.
Yeah, so is Chrollo back for round 2?
Not exactly. So Machiavelli's famous for The Prince.
Right.
But he wrote other stuff too.
Okay.
Like discourses on Livy. And that gives us a different perspective on republics, and how to keep them free and stable.
Okay, so what's Machiavelli's take on the hunter world this time?
He believed in civic virtue.
Civic virtue.
Yeah, it's the idea that citizens, they need to put the common good above themselves.
I see that in Hunter x Hunter. Like, how often do hunters risk their lives for others?
All the time.
Even people they don't know.
Exactly. The hunter exam, it's not just about skills. It's a character test, too.
Gets rid of the selfish folks.
Exactly. They're becoming protectors of society, even if it's dangerous.
It's kind of noble when you think about it.
It is. And this all ties into Machiavelli's idea of a strong and unified society.
Wow. Okay, so we've got Rousseau, we've got Machiavelli. Anyone else?
All right, last one, I promise.
Hit me with it. My brain is ready.
Let's finish with Michel Foucault.
Foucault, okay. He's known for being a little intense.
Right. He could be. Lots of big words.
Yeah.
Complicated ideas.
But his ideas are important.
Super insightful. He said power isn't just about control. It's also about shaping how we think, our beliefs, our desires, even how we see the world.
Okay, so how does that fit into Hunter x Hunter?
What do we know about Nen?
Nen. It's power.
It's more than that.
What do you mean?
It's a reflection of who you are.
Oh, yeah. Your personality, your individuality.
The different categories, they're all linked to personality types.
Right, like your Nen is a part of you.
Exactly. So Nen isn't neutral.
What do you mean?
It's influenced by society, by culture.
I see.
It affects a hunter's abilities, but also how they see themselves.
So Nen itself is a form of power that changes how people think and act.
Exactly. And this goes back to Foucault's idea that power is everywhere. It's subtle. It's working in the background.
It's not just about, like, dictators and stuff.
Right. It's part of the system.
Okay, my brain is officially fried. We've covered so much. And I can't believe how much these ideas add to Hunter x Hunter.
It's amazing, right? It shows how brilliant Togashi is.
He made a world that's exciting and also makes you think.
It's the best of both worlds. So why does all this matter?
Yeah, what's the point of all these philosophical connections?
It's not about being academic or anything. It's about appreciating how deep the story is. Using these philosophers, we see the characters and themes in a whole new way.
It's like we found a secret level in the game. All this hidden stuff was there the whole time.
Exactly. And this is just the beginning.
There's more.
There's always more to explore.
Okay.
Maybe this deep dive will inspire you to read these philosophers or find new connections we didn't even talk about.
The hunter world is like a world of ideas. There's always something new to discover.
That's a great way to put it.
So keep exploring. Keep thinking, and keep those Nen abilities sharp.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that's it for our deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, happy hunting.